some seats back here. We can backfill. Is that seat open there, buddy? Right next to you, Beth? Is that open? Yeah. No, you stay there, brother. Well, we got a full house. It's funny, when then Senator Melvin and the Rosemont staff and ARPA and AMA and Amigos and myself, when we formed this little project here, we had like 30 people at the first couple of meetings. And it got to 40, and it got to 50. Once we hit 100, we've never been below 100 people. So thank you all for being here and your support for our industry. Give yourself a hand. Before we get started, my name is Rick Cornell. I'm the Vice President of Southern Arizona Business Coalition, and we're sort of the Southern Arizona mining voice. The Pilassamacher and I put together almost 7 years ago now. And the idea was to make sure that we have support for our industry, to make sure that people understand the facts of mining and the reality of the economic impact and all the other issues that come around our industry. One of the other things that this industry is very good at is there's generosity. I've got this up here. I'm on the board of the 9/11 Tower Challenge. And just step back just a little bit. About 5 years ago, this event started here in Tucson with the Tucson Fire Department representative and a representative TPD. And we had about 300 climbers our very first year. We expanded the event to include military, law enforcement, and all first responders, to the point that this last year we had filled up all the way to the top of the stadium, over 1,500 climbers. All the money raised, all the net proceeds went to first responders and military organizations. This last year we netted almost $80,000. And that money all goes back to saying thank you to those that serve us. And I'm taking a little point of privilege here. I just want to give a special thanks to a couple of our sponsors. Greg and Andre, would you mind coming up for just a minute? Yeah, you. This year I just we run a little crazy, and I reached out to a couple of friends and I said, hey, can you help us out with a little sponsorship money? And our mining friends right here at the Arizona Mining, now South 32, on behalf of our board and the community, thank you for all your support of our event. And next year I'll be hitting everybody up, so thank you very much. Okay, on with the show. A couple of things are going to be happening. Today is the day before all ballots drop for the 2018 general election. It's a huge election. And I want to tell you, the Arizona Republic ran an op-ed piece and blasted the Western States Caucus, and in particular, Representative Martha McSally, for not supporting some Grand Canyon protection for the uranium mining industry. It was wrong. They misrepresented Martha's position and the Western State Caucus position. Both Martha and Representative Gosar and Representative Andy Biggs from Arizona, they supported protecting areas within the Grand Canyon for sure. But the uranium mining business and those projects that are already been started, and President Obama put a halt to everything, those projects are being considered for reconsideration. But here's the problem is, the information being put out by the opposition is incorrect. The mining projects that have already been started are not inside the Grand Canyon and not with any reasonable amount of area around the Grand Canyon. So let's pay attention to the issues and the facts as they come around. The importance of this election also helps this industry in the long run. If we can elect people that support our industry and understand not only the economic impact, but the environmental protection that has evolved over the last particular 10, 15 years, it has become unbelievable. This industry does not leave garbage for other people to pick up. This industry has learned to pick up the garbage that other people left behind. And for that, and all your people and all your friends and employees, remind them that this industry employs almost 50,000 people in the state of Arizona, directly and indirectly. How many vendors are in this room today? Say thank you to mining for being here. Go ahead. It's a two-way street. They need you and you need them. And together we all need these jobs and we need the opportunities that come with it. And you've heard it I don't know how many times, from food to freeways. Mining is the most essential part of our existence here today. So look at the candidates, do your homework, and remember the people that have supported this industry and know where they stand. And if you're not sure, call them up and ask them. So with that, we're going to start way in the back with that gentleman before you stick your next fork in your mouth. Everybody introduce themselves. Go ahead, my friend.
Patrick Johnson, I'm with Ames Companies.
Nick Pearson, I'm running for Congress against Grijalva in District 3.
Go ahead.
Mark Davis, Keto Pumps and Migos board member.
Gene Waken, Group 2 Sonic Construction.
Mike Jacobson, Skyline Labs.
Sarah Clark, Skyline Labs.
Megan Cias, Skyline Labs.
Chuck Watson, I'm from Castellan, represent TP Contractors.
Dwight Burns, Factory Motor Parts. Roy Smith, Meridian Engineering.
Stand up and speak loud.
Jeff Jones with Meridian.
Josh Carter, Meridian.
Rick Roscoe, Comfort Systems USA Southwest.
Ernie Richmond, Comfort Systems USA.
Lily Pena, MSHA instructor at McCran Compliance.
Brandon Shaw, Ready Arc Weld Rentals.
Ashley Phillips, Mountain States Machinery.
Buzz Miller, Mountain States.
Fred Meyer, Skyline Labs.
Eva Martinez, Telcom National.
Chris Ackerley, candidate, Legislative District 2, State House.
Victor Bryson, Command Industrial.
Greg St. Clair, Arizona Corporate Builders, Pre-Engineered Structures.
Nick Bishop, Filter May.
Fred Macarati, Media and More. Scott Clark, Bowman Consulting.
Brandon Layton, Bowman Consulting.
Michael Koretz, Commercial Real Estate Group, and I'm also a member of the Tech Council. We're having a Tech Expo October 24th at the TCC. There's a lot of mining-related vendors. Caterpillar will have a remote dozer operator there, so you can sit there and operate it from a remote on Proving Ground, Hexagon Mining, Arizona Mining Alliance, ArizonaTechCouncil.org for more information.
Aaron Millis, Restructuring Corporation.
Jessica Wilness, Restructuring Corporation.
Steve Weissel, Western Cass Park.
Eric Knight, Nino Morchitec, Drills Testing.
Kristen McGarvey, Arizona Commerce Authority. Susan Dumont, Design Corridor.
Lyndon Denton, Apache Nitrogen Product.
Chris Peters, I'm a hydrogeologist at Montgomery Associates.
Dave McBain of California.
Christina Sally, Pepe Rosemont Copper. Rachel Weisner, Pepe Rosemont Copper.
Casey Sullivan, Chromalox, Advanced Thermal Technologies. Jim Summers, Chromalox, Seat Trace. Randy Eck with Stantec.
Hello.
David Larson, we have Public Construction.
Rich Cloud, TriStar Industrial.
Jeff Martin, Kluber Lubrication North America.
Amy Graves, class of 2019, related to some leadership. Thanks for having me.
Leon Punch, Dr. Stapleton Nut, and Migos board member.
Mike Leva, Tucson Electric Power.
Marilyn Wiles, candidate for state senate, LD 10.
Chris Pagano, Marriott Hotels.
Right, Alex.
60 Morris, Carl the Radio Officer.
Alex Huckabee, FEMA JTIP in Southern Arizona Construction Career Days.
Kathy Ivory Spraker, FEMA JTIP.
Paul Stockburger, Stantec.
First timer, Cliff Rader, Desert Mountain Corporation, Dust Control, Erosion Control.
Sam Santana with Norman Hobbs, Material Handling.
Ray Hamrick, Nomin Hobbs Material Handling, and Nico's board member.
Kevin Somerville with Fusing Corporation, earthwork civil contractor.
Jerry Gavin with Metro Metals.
Barry Bean, DXP. John Rodriguez, Eaton, Cottingham. Chris Wilson, INC Supply.
Larry Geiger, Environmental Corporation.
Ralph Strickland, Consultant Mining and Vendor.
Bob Metz, Professional Mountain Development.
Tony Bajani, Revolution Industrial.
Shamala Nithya, Sawara Geoservices, Geotechnical Consulting.
Bob Cummings, Swirl Geoservices.
Bill Metzger, Meter Logic Energy Services.
Tom Hopkins, Air Products.
David Patch, Air Products.
Sally Myatt, Air Products. Jay Angela, Revenue Staffing.
Harry Darling, Darling Geomatics, we're your high-tech mining surveyors.
Richard Darling, Darling Geomatics. Bill Arnold, Wade Journal Limited.
Henry Flanagan from Santa Cruz County.
John Zadie, Matrix Service.
Greg Prince, Matrix Service.
Dale Shaw, Flanders Electric.
Josh Jones, Flanders Electric.
Andre Lewis on the Hudbay Barrels.
Hi, Nancy Heiser, Hudbay Rosemont Copper. Vaughn Medler, also with Hudbay Cross.
Leonardo Contreras, Sarko. Jim Briscoe, Liberty Star. And thanks for your comments on uranium, standard metallurgy, and innovative mining to remove all the deleterious products from the pipes around the Grand Canyon, leaving none and selling them all at a profit. The reservation on the canyon was nothing more than illegal taking.
Steve Christie, Pima County Board of Supervisors, District 4.
Beth Borozon, Chief of Staff to Supervisor Christie.
Wendell Long, ArcPoint Labs and Drug and Alcohol Testing, also the co-chair of the Just Fix Our Roads, Prop 463. Love to have your support. Dovetails in with other issues, other bonds being paid off, so it doesn't raise your taxes. We got to get our roads fixed. Yes, 463.
ABC Restaurant Engineering.
Susan Smith, FEMA GOP Extension Advisor for Autumn Henderson.
Anna Henderson, first vice chair for the Pima County Republican Party and candidate second round. Let's make it work this time. Pro mining, and this is for state representative for legislative district 9.
Mark Black with the Sarko.
David Rose, Sarko Mission. Bob Linsell, Granite Construction, Mining Division.
Brad Stonehouse, the Sarko Silverbell.
Tom Phillips, the Sarko Mission Complex. Bobby Davidson, Infantry Engineering.
Javier Forcada, Infantry Engineering.
Tammy Francis, Crust Insurance.
James Stewart, the Sarko. John Weitzel, head of IT for Sarko.
Mike Catrava, the Sarko Ray.
Joe Wilhelm, Sarko 8.
Steve Jones, Sarko Amarillo, Texas. Scott Cole, Sarko.
Stan Rapp, Infantry Engineering, Amigos Board Member.
Tom Aldridge, G3 Strategies, Amigos Board Member, and Mining Foundation Southwest.
Brent Tanner, CTI Trucking, and Amigos Board Member.
Tom Jones, CTI Trucking, and Amigos Board Member.
Bill Osmacher, Cade Industries, Emeritus Amigos Board Member and co-founder of SABC.
Christina Aina, Christie Insurance Group.
Sandra Redondo, Laura Sarko, Mineral Discovery Center.
Travis Wires, Sarko.
Don Savers, Asarco.
Joe Smith with Sarko, Google Mexico, as Manuel Stratton.
Antonio Verde, Sarko.
Chuck Watson, Sarko.
Claude Felser, Legislative District 10 Representative and candidate for re-election, Legislative District 10.
Vince Leach, State Representative. I serve on the Energy, Environment, Natural Resources Committee. I'm also a candidate for the State Senate in LD 11, Marana, Oro Valley.
Jerry Bustamante, Red Bay Rural Top.
Stacy Gramazio with Florence Copper. Robin Barnes with the Sarko. Jessica Vasquez, Sarko.
That's the reason why the Sarko guys.
Christine Johnson, South 32.
Marshall, South 32, used to be Arizona Mining, also Arizona Tech.
Brandon Farrell, South 32.
And our photographer and video man over here, Mr. Jim Hurley with Red Diamond Productions and
Pioneer Equipment.
Pioneer Equipment. Okay, real quick. Southern Arizona Business Coalition, when we started this, we found different ways to help reach out and touch this community and also help create support. Well, one of the areas that we've talked about over the last several years, and there was a study done in, I believe, 2010, said by 2018 to 2020, there will be a major shortfall in qualified people to work in this industry. And right now, the Tucson Metro Chamber, and we partnered with them. I met with Mayor Rothschild last week, and we talked about ways to help expand the opportunities and to let people know about the availability of mining careers. And so there's going to be a lot more information coming out and coordinated information so that we can understand how to let people know why this industry continues to grow and why good people are needed each and every day. So we'll have a link on our website with the different mine companies that will have links directly to theirs. And eventually we'll partner with the Tucson Chamber and other organizations to make sure that we're all on the same page, that we synchronize the opportunities and help people understand, particularly the younger people, why this is a great career, number one, but also how we can get this information to friends and family. So stay tuned. You're going to get email blasts from a group of people, and you're going to say, what is this all about? Well, this is about the future of mining. And without qualified people to do these jobs, you can have all the permits you want, but unless we have the people to do these projects, we're going to be in a shortfall. So I'm just asking you to sort of pay attention and keep your ears and eyes open and encourage people that want to know more about this industry to get in touch with us and or people in this industry to find out ways that they can start a new career. Miss Stacy Gramazio from Florence Copper.
Tricked me, I didn't know I was first. Hi, there's a lot of new faces here, and that's great. My name's Stacy Gramazio. I'm the Manager of Communications and Public Affairs for Florence Copper. We are part of Taseko Mines, which is based out of British Columbia, but one of the projects in their portfolio is the Florence Copper project in Florence, Arizona. And we greatly appreciate your support for this organization and for the industry as well. If you haven't heard of Florence Copper before, I'll tell you a little bit about the project. We just completed about 6 years of permitting for our phase 1 operations. And that basically is a test facility. We call it our production test facility. It's a 1 to 2 year demonstration of in situ copper recovery. And if you're not familiar with that, you can give me a call and I'll give you a tour of the Florence Copper project and we can explain all about in situ copper recovery. But basically, in situ is Latin for in place. Everything takes place through a series of injection and recovery water wells that extract the copper from deep underground. We recently, in 2018, we constructed our well field for this test facility. We also constructed what's called a solvent extraction and electrowinning plant, and that's where we will plate the copper cathode sheets that we will produce. And we are all set and ready to go. Again, we're fully permitted. However, it's just a balancing act at the end where we need to check off the final boxes for the agency to give us the go-ahead to get started. We're hoping that that happens any day. And certainly we are looking forward to starting the injection recovery process. We should have our first copper cathode before the end of 2018. Right now we are still on target for that, and we're very hopeful that we will have that first copper cathode sheet before the end of the year. If you're interested in talking with me about our procurement procedures and how to do that, I can direct you appropriately to our website and tell you all about those types of opportunities. Again, we're permitted for phase 1. We will start working towards phase 2 full commercial operations here in the near future, hopefully. Are there any questions that I can answer about Florence Copper?
How many people do you have on the website right now?
We are at about 30 total employees, but mind you, we've had indirect employment through the construction company and the drilling companies. So at the height of it, we've had about 80 people working in Florence. But the PTF, the test facility, will require about 40 total employees. We are still hiring, and some of those opportunities are on our website right now. We just had an election in Florence. If you've been following Florence politics, we have had our challenges with the town of Florence. However, there was an election recently, and we are very hopeful that we will start to see change in the political climate as far as our relationship with the town of Florence. But we will continue moving forward in a very positive direction. Again, we needed our final say sign off from ADEQ and the EPA, and we do have those permits. We are fully permitted to operate on state land, which is out of the jurisdiction of the town of Florence. Yes, sir.
What is your estimated annual production?
When we get to full commercial operations, we will be recovering, we will produce about 85 million pounds per year annually for about 20 plus years.
85 million pounds.
Yes. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right, I look forward to chatting with you after. Thank you.
Robin, you want to give us an update on how much land you have? Robin offered to sell me some, but
I wanted it for free.
I wanted it for free. She said that dog ain't gonna hunt.
So good afternoon. Thank you everyone for coming. We really appreciate you always showing up on our behalfs. I have 3 major projects that we're working on in the copper corridor. First is the Hayden smelter, and that the retrofit of the converters has been successfully completed. We've met all the requirements of the EPA, and so we're now operating one of the cleanest copper smelters in the world. So Joe and your staff, good job. Pretty amazing that they did that. The second project is the Ripsey Wash Tailings Storage Facility, a 7-year process of buying state land. We were a successful bidder in July. So we now own a lovely piece of 7,400 acres of land for our new tailings facility. We recorded the patent earlier this month. The comment period for the final EIS was yesterday. So we expect to have our record of decision and Section 404 permit by the end of this year. James Stewart, our project manager, is continuing with the pre-construction activities on the sites, and he expects to be able to initiate construction on that tailings facility in 2020. And then my project, the Ray Land Exchange, 25-year project, BLM tells me they're going to release the final supplemental EIS in mid-November. We will have a record of decision for the resource plan amendment in July, and also a notice of decision for the land exchange. Did I say July? January of 2019. So both of those decisions will be in January, and then I expect to close in April. So I hope to have this project done second quarter of next year. So after 3025. Any questions? I'm never doing another land exchange. Actually, Nancy's trying to talk me into doing another one, so. That's it, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Well, many of you know Greg, but now Greg has a new boss. So, well.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick, Bill, Granite, Cindy who's in here. And thank you, Manuel. I want to recognize you for your many years of service, your friendship, and being a leader in the industry. I was telling Tom he should retire again next month. That way we'd have another full house. The most people we've seen in a while. As Rick mentioned, we were bought out in August. We used to be Arizona Mining. I used to give presentations and tell you guys all the great things that were happening here and encourage you to buy stock. And if you did, you did well. If you didn't, you missed out. So we were bought out by South 32, an Australian mining company that was spun out of BHP. So headquarters are in Perth. I just got my first PowerPoint presentation from corporate this morning. I haven't seen it, so we will all see it together.
Oh.
We're not starting off well. Let's see if I can find it on my thumb drive. What I'll do in the meantime is hopefully the video that came, this is a video of our last 100 days on site. It starts off with our CEO doing a site visit, and then it shows some of the activity we have going on. Hold on a second. Let me get that. All these mining engineers, and we still can't figure out how to run a PowerPoint. This is our new cautionary statement. So I'm going to tell you a lot of good things about our project in South 32. So pay attention, and hopefully you'll buy stock, but you've been warned. South 32, fully diversified. You can see the metals that we're producing and the continents that we're operating in. Aluminum became a hot commodity, and probably about a month ago, our stock was pretty affordable. Now it's shot up dramatically. So I wish I'd have bought stock about a month ago. Got to work with the company on our color selection, but black and yellow are our colors with a slate gray. Our purpose is to make a difference in developing natural resources, improving people's lives, and for generations to come. Values that guide us. We care about our people. We value differences, but we want to work together. We deliver on our commitments through trust, and we encourage excellence. How we make a difference, I'll touch on that. The next slide will show pretty much our goals. And the way we work, we really want to show the industry that we want to diversify our workforce, and the company puts a lot of value into diversification. These are our company goals, what they call breakthroughs. And probably the most important one is we want to guarantee everyone goes home safe. And for those of you that are in the mining industry or support services, that's very, very critical that we pay attention to our workforce and make sure that everyone goes home safe to their families. To give you an idea of where South 32 operates, they came up with South 32 because most of the operating companies were along the southern latitude 32. But we're in Australia, Africa, South America. We're into Mexico now. Our project in the U.S., and we're looking at projects up in Alaska. We talked about diversification, so we're really targeting trying to create a more diverse workforce. We're trying to get more women in our business operation. And in our Tucson office, I would say we're probably close to 40, 60. I'm outnumbered as I'm here. Slide about our sustainability. We really want to get involved in the community and be partners in the areas that we operate. We've been working with Pima JTED, the local school districts. One of the things that we've identified is the lack of voc ed training. So one of the things that we're going to be pushing, hopefully in a strong partnership with Pima Community College and the school districts down in Santa Cruz County and Pima JTED, is the creation of a voc ed program. So we're working hard to get that created. In fact, we just created a fund with the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, and we put $2.5 million into that to help kickstart this program. So we're excited about the things that are going to be happening down in Santa Cruz County. Here's a little slide about the project itself. For those that you haven't seen it in a while, a lot of activities taking place. Second slide on the right is our water treatment plant. Next slide over is we put in place a new lined tailing storage facility to handle the old tailings from the old Asarco Trench mine site. We are now, the lining has been complete. We're putting the tails back on. Downstream of that, we've got the water treatment plant, and then below that, slide on the right is our decline adits that are starting to go down into the ore body. Now, hopefully, I can get the video to play.
So we are a large company, have a market cap of about 17 million. We're in an interesting situation over the last 3 years where we've generated a hell of a lot of cash, but we don't have a lot of growth opportunities, which is why we've really pushed hard over the last 3 years into the exploration space. And one of the particular reasons that we like the idea of Arizona is that we have large amounts of capital and cash that we want to put to work, and we think this is a very good project.
We have a limit switch with a cam lock cap. And then controls for the dust collector, blower, the pulse sequencer.
UF feed water that's been treated with ferric chloride is now entering your UF feed skid.
So our values are relatively simple. We have 4, and they're around care, they're around trust, togetherness, and excellence.
this area here is your 3 reaction tanks. The reaction tank section of your multi-flow is the first section of the multi-flow. There's also a mixer on this tank so that you don't have the solid settle and compact.
When that happens, this light will go out. The high level is the exact opposite.
Essentially, at this point, your water's fully treated.
While we were collecting project,
we're looking for what we'd call a large investment into the community here to announce South 32B here. We think Arizona has an incredibly bright future and we're very keen investing and developing that.
Thank you. First time I saw that video too, so I'm pretty excited about that. We did have the governor on site, and that was all over the last 100 days. Big difference between Arizona Mining and South 32. Our previous company was really focused on getting into production as soon as possible, and the strategy behind it was to get us positioned for sales. So we did our PEA and we skipped pre-fees, and we were strong into our feasibility study when South 32 came in and took us out. South 32 has a different mindset. They're looking at a project that's going to last for the next 40, 50 years. So they're looking at how to optimize the project moving forward. So they'd like to get into production as soon as possible, but they want to do it with the long-term thought in mind. So where we're at right now is we're probably going to go back and do pre-feasibility analysis, look at the different options that were out there, and go chase them around a little bit more before we finalize on a path forward. Probably for the next 6 to 8 months, we'll be looking at pre-fees, and shortly after that, we'll move forward with feasibility. Me being new to a corporate structure that like we have, previously, we'd have to go out and get financing and have to generate the studies to support getting money. Situation is different. Money is there, but now we have to go before an executive board and have to justify our request for an expense. So that's what we're doing. We're actually putting together the report to go to the executive board and how to move the project forward. As you can see, there's a lot of activity on site. We probably have on any given day about 450 people. As we start to ramp up, we're probably going to go between 1,000 and 1,200 during construction, and then once we get to a steady state, we're probably going to taper it back down to about 500, 550. This is all in the zinc lead ore deposit. We do have another ore deposit on site. We still have the silver manganese that will probably come online 5 to 7 years afterwards, so and that'll probably add another 300 plus workers to the site. So it's going to be there for a long time, and hopefully will make a difference for all of you in years to come. So thank you. I'll take any questions if you have any. Good, thanks.
Thanks, Greg. Anybody here from SME? Okay. Tom Aldridge, where are you, buddy?
Right here. I'm the executive director of the Mining Foundation of the Southwest, and as you all know, we hold a mining banquet every year. This year, the inductee is Red Conger of Freeport, and I gotta tell you, right now we have about 44 sponsors, a lot of you people in this room, and that's just been a tremendous response to this year's banquet. Epiroc just stepped up here recently. They're gonna be the diamond sponsor of the event, and so that was exciting. We're at about 60% of the tickets sold, and I anticipate that we will sell this banquet out. So if you're interested in attending this year, please do it this month and get your reservations in. Lastly, the funds that we raise for this go to our education outreach program. And that is the person who is hired through the University of Arizona IMR to go out to our public schools and a variety of schools, private schools also, to teach kids about mining, geology, etc. And I got to tell you, we touch through that program 10,000 students a year. So the money that we use for this, that's primarily what it goes for. So your support is very much appreciated. And lastly, as an individual, it also helps if you could join the Mining Foundation of the Southwest to help us get the message across. Mining is important. It's necessary. We don't live without mining as a society. Membership of the foundation is $100 a year. And this year we've already brought in 49 new members, I think, something like that. So appreciate it once again. Oh, lastly, got to tell you something about Manuel. I've known him for 18 years, worked for him for 6 in my 40-year career at ASARCO. And I got to tell you, there's never been a guy who took care of his people like Manuel has. And I think everybody at ASARCO would say that, and they all appreciate everything that you did for us. Lastly, Manuel's birthday is on October 31st. So if you see him out trick-or-treating, give him some pecans, because he loves those. So.
Mr. Tanner.
Hi, I'm Brett Tanner. I'm the chairman of Migos, and you're used to seeing Sydney stand up and make the announcements, but she's not feeling well today, so I ask you to think about her and offer up a good thought in your head or a prayer for her on her behalf. She's fine, but we miss her. Also, Sydney really wanted to express her appreciation to you, Manuel, and your support of Amigos over the years, and it's recognized by all of us from Amigos that you support us, and we appreciate that and wish you very well. The only announcement from the Amigos is our upcoming casino night in conjunction with the SME. If you haven't done that, come. It's geared toward an enjoyable social environment. You get to play some of the Las Vegas games with Strip, and it's just fun and a good time together. And you can end up taking home some neat prizes. It's the Saturday night of the SME weekend. Start at 7 o'clock and be at the hotel where we're already at. We hope you'll come, and if you're an Amigo member, there's room for sponsorships, so you can get recognized as a sponsor, and as an attendee, just come and enjoy us. Thank you.
Mr. Bill.
So this time of the year, we always are thankful for life and what we have as a career. And this is a good time for us to recognize Manuel Ramos. So Manuel, why don't you come on up? You're up here. I've known Manuel for probably 30 years. And There was a time when I first met him, our company was doing a lot of work in Mexico, and we were very lucky to get him to evolve here to Tucson. And you see him around town. I do bump into him sometimes when he's bike riding, but I can honestly say that he represents his industry well. We're going to give him a copper sculpture. This warrior design is very unique. Kate used to do a lot of metal sculpture work earlier in my career, and this symbolizes a warrior spirit. And I know that Manuel, through 3 generations of mining in the Southwest, as well as his leadership in ASARCO, but he's been a true friend of our industry. And to be honest, out of all the people I met in the industry, there's none better than Manuel. And Manuel, thank you for your leadership and the role that you played. And from both Amigos and SABC, this is just a small token of our appreciation. We don't want you to become a figment of our imagination. We want you to stay in the industry. We all want to continue to be your friend. And it's been a wonderful ride in the past 30 years to know you. Thank you. Very rarely in life you get to meet somebody like Manuel, and we feel blessed to have you in Tucson as our friend.
Wow. You wanted to say something? Well, you're the guys. Be careful. And thank you very much to everybody here. It's very easy to have a good team, to have a good family, to have good friends, good suppliers, by the way, and you make it. Thank you very much.
Not quite.
I was asked this morning to say a few words on behalf of all our colleagues here from ASARCO that have worked with Manuel over the past some 40 years. 39? How many years?
24.
I met Manuel about a little over 13 years ago, and I came during a pretty tough time. A couple of years after that, Manuel became our president and our chief operating officer. And he spends a lot of time, I'll tell you a few things about Manuel. He spends a lot of time walking around. He spends a lot of time in the mines. He spends a lot of time in the plants, and everybody knows Manuel. And when we would be crunching numbers, I came in the hard times of the bankruptcy, and we had a lot of numbers to crunch and a lot of long hours. And Manuel would walk through the halls, and he would always have a smile. He would always say hello to everybody. He would make sure that happens. And I'm sure when he's out in the plants that he's doing the same thing. And so one thing that maybe not everybody knows about Manuel is that he is 3rd generation ASARCO. His grandfather was an ASARCO Mexico employee. What years would those? So Manuel, if there's anybody that means, that epitomizes the definition of ASARCO, I would say it's Manuel. And in the last couple of few years, he and I have been a couple of doors down in offices, and I'm going to miss a lot of the times that we got to talk. And he's a very interesting gentleman. If you haven't had a chance to talk with Manuel, then please introduce yourself and make a friend. I don't have much else. I appreciate, on behalf of all of our colleagues, we want to thank you for the leadership you've shown us and being our friend, even if you said I wasn't your friend.
Well, Senor, thank you. God bless you and your family. Okay. Okay, if you haven't had a chance to sign the card, come on up and sign the card. And if you did have a chance, drop 20 bucks if you didn't pay earlier. Please feel free to do that as well. And more important, we have the SME conference on December.
Second, third.
Yeah, Sunday night is the Amigos poker deal, right? Casino night, okay. And then Monday and Tuesday is the SME conference. Just Monday. Okay, sure, what do I know? Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. And let's close out this year with a lot of success. Thank you. One more thing. Hold on. Hang on. One more thing. You know, I was just reminded, Manuel Ramos was also being acknowledged by the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce on a big event October 20th, right? Saturday, October 20th, as the Man of the Year. Congratulations, Manuel. God bless you.